The moon hung in the sky like a giant silver coin. Inside his mansion, Marcus Wellington sat alone in his study, surrounded by walls covered in expensive paintings. Everything in the room whispered one word: rich. Outside, the night was quiet. Too quiet. Then came the knock. Not a loud bang. Not a gentle tap. Something in between. Something that made Marcus lift his head from his papers and frown. Nobody knocked on his door at midnight. Nobody could. His mansion sat behind tall iron gates, security cameras watching every corner, guards patrolling the grounds. This was his fortress, his castle, his place where the world could not reach him. The knock came again. Marcus stood up, his expensive leather shoes making soft sounds on the marble floor. His heart beat a little faster, though he would never admit it. Rich men don't get scared. Rich men don't worry. He walked through the long hallway, past mirrors that showed his reflection, a man in his 50s, gray hair perfectly combed, a suit that cost more than most people earned in a month. He looked like someone who had everything. When he reached the massive oak door, he hesitated. His hand touched the cold metal handle. "Who's there?" he called out, his voice strong and commanding. Silence. Then a small voice, shaking like a leaf in the wind. "Please? I need help." A child. Marcus pulled open the heavy door, and there she stood. She was tiny, maybe 8 years old, maybe 9. Her brown hair was tangled and messy, stuck to her cheeks with dried tears. Dirt covered her face and hands. She wore a faded pink backpack that looked too big for her small shoulders, and she clutched a small suitcase with both hands, holding it like it was the only thing keeping her standing. But it was her eyes that hit him hardest. They were red from crying, but they looked straight at him with something that made his chest feel tight. Not anger, not even sadness. Hope. "Sir," she whispered, her bottom lip trembling. Can I stay here? Just for tonight." Marcus stared at her. His mind raced through 1,000 thoughts at once. How did she get past security? Where are her parents? Is this some kind of trick? "This is private property," he said, his voice cold as ice. "How did you get in here?" The little girl flinched, like his words had slapped her. A fresh tear rolled down her cheek. I climbed over the back wall," she said quietly. "By the old tree, the one with the broken branches." Marcus knew that tree. He'd been meaning to have it removed for years. "Where are your parents?" he demanded. The girl looked down at her feet. Her shoes were worn out, with holes near the toes. "My dad left a long time ago," she said, her voice barely louder than a whisper. "And my mom, she told me to leave tonight. She said she didn't want me anymore. She said I was too much trouble." Something twisted in Marcus's chest, something he hadn't felt in years. He pushed it away quickly. "That's not my problem," he said. "You need to call the police. They'll take you somewhere safe. There are places for children like you." "Please," the girl begged, and now the tears came faster, streaming down her dirty face. "I don't need money. I don't need anything expensive. I just need to be safe. Just for one night. Please, sir, please." Marcus felt his hand tighten on the door handle. He should close it. He should call his security. He should protect himself, his property, his peaceful life. But he couldn't move. "Why here?" he asked, his voice softer now. "Why my house?" The little girl looked up at him, and for the first time, something like a smile tried to form on her sad face. "I remembered this place," she said. "My mom used to work here, a long time ago. Before I was born, maybe. She cleaned houses, and she told me stories about this mansion. She said it was the most beautiful place in the world. She said the man who lived here was very important." Marcus felt like someone had punched him in the stomach. He remembered. Years ago, he'd hired cleaning staff. Dozens of people worked for him, their faces blurring together in his memory. He never learned their names, never asked about their families. They cleaned, they left, and he paid them. That was all. She said this was a safe place. The girl continued, her voice breaking. She said important people live in safe places. So I thought, maybe you could let me be safe too. Just for a little while. The wind picked up, blowing cold air through the open door. The little girl shivered, pulling her thin jacket tighter around her body. Marcus looked at her suitcase. It was old and scratched, with stickers peeling off the sides. "What's in there?" he asked, pointing at it. "My clothes," she said, "and some pictures, and a blanket my grandma made before she died. That's all." She nodded. Marcus stood there, a man worth billions of dollars, looking down at a child who owned almost nothing. The gap between them felt as wide as an ocean. "What's your name?" he heard himself ask. "Lily," she said quietly. "My name is Lily." "Lily," Marcus repeated. The name felt strange in his mouth. Soft, innocent. "Sir," Lily said, her voice shaking again. "I promise I won't cause trouble. I won't touch anything. I won't make noise. I can sleep on the floor. I just can't go back out there. It's dark and cold and I'm scared. I'm so scared." Her words hung in the air between them. Marcus thought about his mansion. 15 bedrooms, most of them empty. Quiet hallways that echoed with loneliness. A dining table that could seat 20 people, where he always ate alone. He thought about his life. Meetings, money, numbers on screens, people who smiled at him because of what he had, not who he was. He thought about this little girl, standing in the cold, asking for nothing but a corner to sleep in. Not asking for his wealth, not asking for his name, just asking for safety, for home. "Does anyone care about you?" Marcus asked, the question coming out harsher than he meant. Lily's face crumbled. Fresh tears spilled over. "I don't know," she sobbed. "I thought my mom did. But tonight she said terrible things. She said I ruined her life. She said she wished I was never born." Something inside Marcus broke. He'd built walls around his heart for decades. Walls made of money and power and control. Walls that kept everyone out, that kept him safe from pain and disappointment and the messiness of caring about people. But standing there, looking at Lily's tear-stained face, he felt those walls crack. Just a little. Just enough. "Come inside," he said quietly. Lily's eyes went wide. "Really? Come inside before I change my mind." She grabbed her suitcase with both hands and hurried through the door, as if afraid he might slam it shut. Marcus closed the door behind her, and suddenly the massive entrance hall felt different. Smaller, warmer. Lily stood on the marble floor, looking around with wonder in her eyes. She'd never seen anything like this. The chandelier above sparkled like 1,000 stars. The staircase curved upward like something from a fairy tale. "It's beautiful," she whispered. Marcus looked at his home through her eyes and realized something shocking. He'd stopped seeing the beauty years ago. It was just stuff. Expensive stuff, but stuff. "You're shivering," he said. "Are you hungry?" Lily nodded, not trusting herself to speak. "Come on," Marcus said, surprising himself. "Let's find you something to eat." As he led her toward the kitchen, Lily's small hand reached out and gently touched his sleeve. "Sir," she said softly. "Yes." Thank you for opening the door." Marcus didn't answer. He couldn't, because he realized that opening that door might have been the most important thing he'd ever done. And his perfectly controlled life would never be the same again. Morning light poured through the tall windows like liquid gold. Marcus woke up in his king-size bed, and for a moment he thought last night was a dream. Then he heard the sound. Soft footsteps. A child's footsteps, careful and quiet, trying not to make noise. Lily was awake. Marcus got dressed quickly and walked downstairs. He found her standing in the hallway, still wearing yesterday's dirty clothes, her small suitcase sitting next to her feet. She looked like she was ready to leave. "Good morning," Marcus said. Lily jumped, startled. "I'm sorry. I didn't mean to wake you up. I'll go now. Thank you for letting me stay." "Go." Marcus frowned. "Go where?" "I don't know," Lily said quietly, looking at the floor. "But you were nice to let me sleep here. I don't want to bother you anymore." Marcus felt that strange tightness in his chest again. This little girl thought one night was all she deserved. One night of safety before going back out into the cold world. "Have you eaten breakfast?" he asked. Lily shook her head. "Then you're not going anywhere until you eat something," Marcus said firmly. "Come on." He led her to the dining room. The table was huge, made of dark polish that reflected the chandelier above like a mirror. It could seat 20 people easily. Marcus always ate at one end, alone with his newspaper and coffee. This morning felt different. Lily stood at the doorway, her mouth hanging open. "This table is bigger than my whole bedroom," she whispered. Marcus pulled out a chair for her. "Sit." Lily climbed onto the chair carefully, like she was afraid she might break something. Her feet didn't even touch the floor. She sat with her hands folded in her lap, looking small and out of place in this room built for kings. Marcus called his cook, Mrs. Chen, who came rushing in looking confused. She never made breakfast for children. "Make pancakes," Marcus said, "with syrup and orange juice. And what else do children like?" Mrs. Chen smiled, understanding immediately. "I'll take care of it, so..." While they waited, Marcus sat across from Lily. The silence felt awkward. He didn't know how to talk to children. He didn't know how to talk to anyone about things that mattered. "Did you sleep okay?" he finally asked. Lily nodded. The bed was so soft, like sleeping on a cloud, and the room was warm and quiet. Her eyes filled with tears again. "It was the best sleep I've had in a long time." "Why?" Marcus asked gently. "Because I felt safe," Lily said simply. "I didn't have to worry about anything." Before Marcus could respond, Mrs. Chen brought in a plate stacked high with golden pancakes, swimming in syrup. Lily's eyes went wide like she was seeing treasure. Is this all for me?" she asked. "All for you," Marcus said. Lily picked up her fork with shaking hands. She took a tiny bite, and her whole face lit up with joy. Then another bite. Then another. She ate like she was starving, like she couldn't remember the last time food tasted this good. Marcus watched her, and something inside him hurt. How long had this child been hungry? How many nights had she gone to bed with an empty stomach? "Slow down," he said gently. "You'll make yourself sick." Lily stopped, embarrassed. "Sorry, it's just so good." "Don't be sorry," Marcus said. "Eat as much as you want." They sat in silence while Lily ate. Marcus sipped his coffee and thought about what to do. He couldn't just send her away, but he couldn't keep her either. Could he? Then came the knock. This time it was loud, demanding, the kind of knock that said, "Open this door right now." Marcus's security guard appeared at the dining room entrance. "Sir, there's a woman at the gate. She's shouting. She says you have a daughter." Lily dropped her fork. It clattered against the plate, syrup splashing. Her face went white. "Mom," she whispered, fear filling her voice. "Stay here," Marcus told her, standing up. "Please." Lily grabbed his sleeve, her small hand trembling. "Please don't make me go with her. Please." Marcus looked into her terrified eyes and made a decision. "I won't. I promise." He walked to the front gate with his security guard. There, behind the iron bars, stood a woman in her 30s. She wore too much makeup and clothes that looked expensive but cheap at the same time. Her eyes were cold and calculating. The moment she saw Marcus, her angry face changed. She smiled, but it was a kind of smile that didn't reach her eyes. "Mr. Wellington," she said sweetly, "thank goodness I found you. I'm Sarah, Lily's mother. I'm so sorry she bothered you. She ran away last night, and I've been worried sick." Marcus studied her. He'd dealt with liars his whole life. People who wanted his money, who pretended to be something they weren't. He could spot fake tears from a mile away. This woman wasn't worried. She was angry, and underneath the anger, he saw something else. Greed. "Your daughter didn't run away," Marcus said coldly. "She came here for safety." Sarah's smile slipped a little. "She's just dramatic. You know how children are. She probably told you some sob story, but I can explain everything." "Can you explain why she was terrified?" Marcus asked, his voice hard as stone. "Can you explain why she was crying? Can you explain why she said you told her to leave?" Sarah's face flushed red. "That's not... She's lying. Children lie when they want attention." "She's not lying," Marcus said. "I can see the truth in her eyes. The question is, why did you come here?" Sarah's fake sweetness crumbled away like a mask falling off. Her eyes turned sharp and mean. "Fine," she snapped. You want the truth? Lily is expensive. She eats too much. She needs clothes. She complains all the time. I'm a single mother working 2 jobs. I can't afford her anymore. Then why come get her? Marcus asked quietly. Sarah smiled again, and this time it was ugly. Because you're a billionaire, Mr. Wellington. I know who you are. Everyone knows who you are. And I figure, if you've kept her overnight, maybe you feel sorry for her. Maybe you'd be willing to help out. You know, financially. There it was. The truth. She didn't want Lily. She wanted money. How much? Marcus asked. Sarah's eyes gleamed. Well, I was thinking $50,000 would be fair. That's what it's cost me to raise her so far. Call it compensation for all the trouble. You want me to pay you for your own daughter? Marcus's voice was ice. I want you to pay me to leave her alone, Sarah said bluntly. Look, let's be honest. You probably don't want a kid either. But if you give me the money, I'll sign whatever papers you want. She can stay here, live in your big fancy house, and I'll disappear. Everyone wins. Marcus stared at this woman who called herself a mother. This woman who would sell her own child for money. This woman who saw Lily not as a person, but as a problem to be solved with cash. He thought about Lily sitting at his dining table, eating pancakes like they were the best thing in the world. He thought about her scared eyes when she heard her mother's voice. He thought about her small hand grabbing his sleeve, begging him not to send her away. No, Marcus said firmly. Sarah blinked. What? No deal. I'm not paying you anything. Then I'm taking her back, Sarah said angrily. No, you're not, Marcus said, his voice dangerous now. Because if you try, I'll call the police. I'll tell them you abandoned your daughter in the middle of the night. I'll tell them she came here begging for safety. I'll tell them you just tried to sell her to me for $50,000. I have security cameras that recorded everything. Sarah's face went pale. You can't prove anything. I can prove enough, Marcus said. Enough to make sure you never get custody of her again. Enough to make sure everyone knows what kind of mother you really are. Fear flickered in Sarah's eyes, but then her face twisted with rage. She's my daughter. You can't just keep her. Watch me, Marcus said quietly. You think you can just buy her? You think money solves everything? No, Marcus said. I don't think money solves everything. But I think Lily deserves better than a mother who wants to sell her. I think she deserves better than being told she's too expensive to love. I think she deserves someone who will protect her. And you think that's you? Sarah laughed bitterly. You're just a rich man playing hero. You'll get bored of her in a week. You'll realize how much trouble she is. And then what? You'll throw her out like I did. Marcus felt anger rise in his chest, hot and fierce. I would never do that. You don't know what you're promising, Sarah spat. You don't know anything about being a parent. You're right, Marcus admitted. I don't know anything about being a parent, but I know what it means to keep a promise. And I promised Lily she'd be safe. Sarah stared at him for a long moment, then shook her head. You're going to regret this. Maybe, Marcus said, but I'd regret sending her back with you more. Sarah turned and walked away, her high heels clicking angrily on the pavement. Marcus watched her go, his heart pounding. He'd just made a choice that would change his life forever. A choice he couldn't take back. When he returned to the dining room, Lily was still sitting at the table, her pancake forgotten. She looked up at him with terrified hope in her eyes. What did she say? Lily whispered. Marcus sat down across from her. She's gone. Forever. Forever. Lily's bottom lip trembled. So I have to leave now. No, Marcus said gently. You're staying here, if you want to. Lily stared at him like she couldn't believe what she was hearing. Really? You mean it? I mean it, Marcus said. This is your home now, for as long as you need it. Tears spilled down Lily's cheeks, but this time they weren't sad tears. They were tears of relief, of joy, of hope. Thank you, she sobbed. Thank you for not letting me go. Marcus reached across the huge table and took her small hand in his. You're welcome, he said softly. And for the first time in years, he smiled, really smiled. 3 weeks passed like a dream Lily was afraid to wake up from. Every morning, she woke up in the soft bed, still surprised it was real. Every morning, Mrs. Chen made her breakfast. Every evening, Marcus came home from work and asked about her day. It felt like magic, but Lily kept waiting for it to end. She kept her suitcase packed under her bed, just in case. She ate carefully, trying not to waste food. She barely touched anything in the house, afraid that if she broke something, Marcus would change his mind. She was living in a castle, but she still felt like a visitor. One Saturday morning, Marcus found her sitting in the library, staring out the window. She looked sad. "What's wrong?" he asked, sitting down next to her. Lily didn't answer at first. Then, quietly, she said, "When are you going to get tired of me?" Marcus's heart hurt. "What do you mean?" "My mom got tired of me," Lily said, her voice small. "My dad got tired of me too. That's why he left. Everyone always gets tired of me eventually." "Lily, look at me," Marcus said gently. She turned to face him, her eyes full of worry. "I'm not going to get tired of you," Marcus said firmly. "This is your home. Not because I feel sorry for you. Not because I'm trying to be nice. But because I choose you. Do you understand? I choose to be your family." "But why?" Lily whispered. "I'm nobody special. I'm just me." Marcus thought about how to explain it. How do you tell a child that she saved you as much as you saved her? "Do you want to know a secret?" he asked. Lily nodded. "Before you knocked on my door, I was lonely," Marcus said. "I had all this money, this big house, everything people think they want. But I was alone. I ate dinner by myself every night. I talked to nobody. I thought I was happy, but I was just empty." Lily listened carefully, her eyes wide. "Then you came," Marcus continued, "and suddenly this house felt different. It felt alive. I started coming home excited to see you. I started caring about what you ate for breakfast, whether you slept well, if you were happy. You made me remember what it feels like to care about someone more than money." "Really?" Lily asked softly. "Really?" Marcus said. "You think I rescued you, but the truth is you rescued me too." Lily threw her arms around Marcus and hugged him tight. He froze for a second, surprised, then hugged her back. It was awkward and clumsy because he'd never hugged anyone in years, but it was perfect anyway. "Can I ask you something?" Lily said, pulling back. "Anything." "Can I call you Dad?" Marcus felt tears sting his eyes. He blinked them away quickly. "I'd like that. I'd like that very much." Lily smiled, really smiled, for the first time since she'd arrived. "Okay, Dad." The word hung in the air between them, heavy with meaning. It wasn't just a word. It was a promise, a commitment, a new beginning. "Come on," Marcus said, standing up. "Let's go do something fun." "Fun?" Lily looked confused. "What do you mean?" "I mean, we've been so serious all the time. Let's go be silly. Let's go to the park. Or get ice cream. Oh, I don't know. What do kids like to do?" Lily giggled. "You really don't know anything about kids, do you?" "Not a thing," Marcus admitted with a smile. "You'll have to teach me." They spent the day together, doing normal things. They went to the park and fed ducks. They got ice cream, and Lily got chocolate all over her face. They went to a bookstore, and Marcus bought her 10 books even though she said one was enough. For the first time in decades, Marcus forgot about money, about business deals, about being important. He was just a dad, spending time with his daughter. When they got home that evening, exhausted and happy, Lily said something that made Marcus stop in his tracks. "Dad, can we unpack my suitcase now?" "Your suitcase?" "I kept it packed," Lily admitted quietly, "just in case you change your mind. But I don't think you will. So maybe I can really stay, really unpack, make this my home." Marcus knelt down so he was eye level with her. "Yes, let's unpack it together. And tomorrow, we'll go shopping for new clothes, new toys, whatever you want. This isn't temporary. Lily, this is forever." Lily's eyes filled with happy tears. "Forever." "Forever," Marcus promised. They went upstairs to her room together. Lily pulled the old suitcase from under the bed and opened it. Inside were a few worn clothes, some pictures, and the blanket her grandmother had made. "Tell me about these pictures," Marcus said gently. Lily picked up a faded photograph. "This is my grandma. She died when I was 5. She was the only one who really loved me." Marcus looked at the picture. An old woman with kind eyes and a warm smile, holding a tiny Lily on her lap. "She will be proud of you," Marcus said. "You're brave and strong, just like her. Do you think she can see me now?" Lily asked. "From heaven?" "I think so," Marcus said. "And I think she's smiling because you're safe and happy." They unpacked everything together, putting clothes in the dresser, hanging pictures on the wall. With each item they put away, Lily seemed lighter, freer, more at home. When they finished, the room looked different. It wasn't a guest room anymore. It was Lily's room, her home. That night, Marcus tucked her into bed for the first time. He wasn't sure how to do it, but he tried his best, pulling the covers up and making sure she had her grandmother's blanket. "Dad," Lily said as he turned to leave. "Yes." "I'm not scared anymore." Marcus smiled. "Good. You never have to be scared again. Can you leave the door open a little, just so I know you're there?" "Of course." Marcus went to his own room but found he couldn't sleep. His mind was racing with thoughts. He'd just become a father. A real father. It wasn't official yet. There would be paperwork, lawyers, legal proceedings to make it permanent. But in his heart, it was already done. Lily was his daughter. He was her dad. Nothing would change that. The next morning, Marcus called his lawyer. "I need to start adoption paperwork," he said, "as soon as possible." His lawyer was shocked. "Adoption? Mr. Wellington, are you sure?" "I've never been more sure of anything in my life," Marcus said. Over the following weeks, life changed in beautiful ways. Marcus rearranged his work schedule so he could be home for dinner every night. He hired a tutor to help Lily catch up on school. He turned one of the empty rooms into a playroom filled with books and toys and art supplies. The mansion that had been a fortress, cold and empty, became a home. There was laughter in the hallways, music playing, the sound of small feet running upstairs. Marcus's business partners noticed a change. "You seem different," one said during a meeting. "Happier." "I am," Marcus said simply. He didn't need to explain. They wouldn't understand anyway. 6 months later, the adoption was finalized. Marcus and Lily stood in a courtroom while a judge signed papers that made it official. "Congratulations," the judge said, smiling. "You're officially a family." Lily squeezed Marcus's hand tight. He squeezed back. That night, they had a celebration dinner. Not just the two of them. Marcus had invited Mrs. Chen, the security guards, even the gardener, everyone who had watched this journey and supported them. "I want to say something," Marcus said, standing up with his glass of juice, because Lily couldn't have wine, so he decided juice was better anyway. Everyone got quiet. "A year ago, I thought I had everything," Marcus said. "I had money, success, a big house. But I was wrong. I had nothing that mattered. Then this brave little girl knocked on my door and changed everything." He looked at Lily, who was beaming at him. "She taught me that real wealth isn't measured in dollars," Marcus continued. "It's measured in love, in trust, in the commitment to show up for someone every single day, no matter what. Lily made me rich in the ways that actually matter." "Dad, you're going to make me cry," Lily said, wiping her eyes. "Good tears?" Marcus asked. "The best tears," she said. Everyone clapped and cheered. Mrs. Chen dabbed her eyes with her apron. Even the tough security guards looked emotional. After dinner, Marcus and Lily sat on the back porch, looking at the stars. "Dad, can I tell you something?" Lily asked. "Always." "Remember the first night when I said I just needed to be safe?" "I remember." "I was lying a little bit," Lily admitted. "I didn't just need to be safe. I needed to be loved. I needed someone to choose me. I needed a home." "And now?" Marcus asked gently. "Now I have everything I needed," Lily said. "I have you. I have home. I have forever." Marcus pulled her close, and they sat there in comfortable silence, watching the moon rise over the mansion that was no longer a fortress. It was a home, their home, and that made Marcus the richest man in the world. If this story touched your heart, please share it with someone who needs to believe in second chances. Like and subscribe for more stories that remind us what really matters in life. What would you do if a crying child knocked on your door? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think Marcus made the right choice? Can money ever buy what Lily and Marcus found together? Remember, the strongest families aren't always born. Sometimes they are chosen. Sometimes they begin with a knock on a door at midnight and a heart brave enough to open it. Subscribe to never miss stories that will move your soul and remind you of life's greatest treasures. Because the best riches aren't in bank accounts. They're in the people we choose to love.